Okay, everybody. Well, welcome to our lesson for today. My name is Alistair. I am your teacher for today's conference lesson. And here it is. We can see it on the screen before us. It's all about mixed conditionals when past meets present. Okay, so we're going to have a look at mixed conditionals today. Let's get started and have a look at the conference agenda. So number 1, conditionals review. Number 2, mixed conditional, past to present. And number 3, mixed conditional, present to past. And lastly, number 4, a final recap. Okay, well, let's have a start today by thinking about a review of what we know about conditionals. So what are conditionals? Conditionals describe possible or imaginary situations and their consequences. They usually have 2 parts, the if clause plus the main clause. So conditionals usually have 2 parts, the if clause, which is the condition, and the main clause, which is the result. So a conditional sentence talks about a situation and its result. If something happens, then something else happens. So if something happens, then something else happens. For example, if it rains, I stay home. If it rains, I stay home. So this is an example of a conditional. Now, within English, there are 4 conditionals that are grammatically fixed. There is the 0 conditional. If you heat water, it boils. Okay, this uses 2 present simple sentences or 2 present simple clauses. We have the first conditional. If I study, I will pass. Okay, this uses the present with the future. Second, if I were rich, I would travel. And the third conditional, if I had studied, I would have passed. So these are 4 grammatically fixed conditionals, and they have their own grammatical structures. If you heat water, it boils, the 0 conditional. If I study, I will pass, the first conditional. If I were rich, I would travel, the second conditional. And if I had studied, I would have passed, the third conditional. Okay, well, that's a recap then of the types of fixed conditionals. Hello, welcome to the lesson. Okay, I'm just going to turn off that microphone. Wonderful. Okay. So those are fixed conditionals. What are mixed conditionals? Well, a mixed conditional uses 2 different times in one sentence. So the if clause is one time, usually the past. The main clause, or another time, is usually the present or the future. So why do we use mixed conditionals? Mixed conditionals are used to talk about how past events affect the present, or how present things could have changed the past. They're mixed because they mixed 2 times, the past and present. Example, if I had gone to bed earlier, I wouldn't be tired now. If I had gone to bed earlier in the past, I wouldn't be tired now in the present. Well, let's think about how mixed conditionals form from the past to the present. So, these are used to express a past situation that affects the present. So in our structure, we can use if plus the past perfect, and then in the other clause, would plus a base verb. So the grammar tip here is past perfect equals had plus past participle. This is the past perfect. So let's have a look at some examples. So if I had studied, I would know the answer. If she hadn't missed the bus, she would be here now. If they had left earlier, they would be on time. If we had taken the other road, we wouldn't be stuck in traffic now. So these, if with the past, and then our other clause, expressing something in the present. Okay, well, I'm going to read through those again. Have a listen one more time. If I had studied more, I would know the answer. If she hadn't missed the bus, she would be here now. If they had left earlier, they would be on time. If we had taken the other road, we wouldn't be stuck in traffic now. Okay, wonderful. Well, let's have a look at some key verbs related to our mixed conditionals. So we've got a little exercise for you to participate in the chat if you wish to. So the objective of our chat exercise is to write the past participles of the following verbs in the chat. Okay, so of course we use the past participle in structure with the past perfect verb tense. So let's have a look at these verbs. We want to transform from their base form into the past participle. So the first one there is study. Study, that's the base form of the verb. I wonder what the past participle is. So I'm going to read through the list. You guys can think about this and participate in the chat if you wish. Okay, so we've got study, sleep, forget, miss, buy, go, arrive, take. Okay, so I'm going to read through the list again, have a listen, and of course, a lot of you are now participating in the chat, writing your ideas in there. So please continue as I read through the list of verbs a second time. Study, sleep, forget, miss, buy, go, arrive, take. Okay, great. Now, some people are writing in as it occurs to them, and someone has written all of them in together. Okay. I'm going to read through that list one more time, and then we're going to reveal the correct answers. So study, sleep, forget, miss, buy, go, arrive, and take. Okay, well, we're going to continue. We still have more content to cover. So let's have a little look at those revealed. Okay, so a lot of correct answers in the chat column. So well done to everyone. We've got a lot of correct answers there related to these verbs. So let's verify these. So study, studied, sleep, slept, forget, forgotten, miss, missed, buy, bought, go, gone, arrive, arrived, and take, taken. Okay, there we go. So a mixture there of some regular past participles ending in ed and some irregular past participles as well. But well done to those of you who have correctly written those into the chat. Okay, well, a little exercise there to get you all involved. Let's think about some practice for these. Okay, so we've looked at some. Now we want to do another chat exercise for you guys. So we want to fill in the empty spaces. So if I to bed earlier, I wouldn't be so tired now. Okay, so we want to transform go into the past participle. Okay. But also with the past perfect. So if I to bed earlier, I wouldn't be so tired now. Okay, so it's not just the past participle, it's with the past perfect. So number 2, if she the job in Paris, she would be living in France now. That's with take. Number 3, if we had booked the tickets last night, we stuck at home today. Interesting. Number 4, if he engineering, he would be working as an architect now. Okay, sounds good. And the last one, number 5, if you me the truth, I this upset. Okay, well, the last one, it's a combination. We have to complete both sets of the mixed conditional. Okay, so if I to bed earlier, I wouldn't be so tired now. If she the job in Paris, she would be living in France now. If we had booked the tickets last week, we stuck at home today. Number 4, if he engineering, he would be working as an architect now. And the last one, number 5, if you me the truth, I this upset. Okay, well, let's have a look at the correct answer. Here we go. So there they are, those sentences completed. So again, well done to everyone who participated there in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to read through the list again. Number 1, if I had gone to bed earlier, I wouldn't be so tired now. Number 2, if she had taken the job in Paris, she would be living in France now. Number 3, if we had booked the tickets last week, we wouldn't be stuck at home today. So well done to those of you who spotted that that was a negative in that particular clause. Well done. And number 4, if he had studied engineering, he would be working as an architect now. And lastly, number 5, if you had told me the truth, I wouldn't be this upset. Okay, so again, very well done to those of you who spotted that 5th one as a negative too. Okay, guys, well, lots of chat participation today, but it's time to continue. Let's have a look at the next part of our lesson. So this time we're going to think about mixed conditionals from the present to the past. So these mixed conditionals are used to talk about a present situation that affects a past result. So let's have a look at that structure. If plus simple past, okay, and then would have plus past participle. However, it's important to note that although the if clause has a past simple verb structure, it actually describes a theoretical present context. Okay, so let's have a look at some more examples. If I were taller, I would have played basketball. If he knew French, he would have talked to her. If we had money, we would have travelled last summer. If she were more confident, she would have asked for the job. Okay, so all of these use the if clause to describe a present context. If I were taller, I would have played basketball in the past. If he knew French, he would have talked to her in the past. If we had money, we would have travelled last summer. If she were more confident, she would have asked for the job. Okay, well, let's have a look at some practice. So I'd like you to write an example sentence in the chat, an example conditional here that uses this structure. So have a think. We want to write an example sentence in the chat. If you want to participate, please do. But don't forget the structure. So we're using if plus the simple past. Okay, and then in our second clause, we're using would have and a past participle. Okay, so if plus simple past, and then would have plus past participle. So there's no pressure. If you want to take part in the chat, by all means do so. Okay, it may be that you don't want to, or let's have a look. Well, we have an example already. Thank you, Celine. Let's have a look at your example. If I were fluent in English, I would have applied for a job in Australia. Okay, well, what a great example. Well done, Celine. I'm going to read that out again. It's a great example for us. If I were fluent in English, I would have applied for a job in Australia. Okay, well, very good. Let's just have a little look at our participant list one more time. Okay, wonderful. Okay, we do have another example from Rosa. Okay, if I studied, I would have succeeded in my exam. Okay, good. So if I studied, I would have succeeded in my exam. Absolutely. Okay, well, that's another good example. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, well, we're going to continue. As I say, we've still got some more content to look at within today's conference. Let's think about that final recap. Okay, so comparing mixed and regular conditionals. So the second conditional, if I had money, I would buy a car. Okay, this is a present to present context. If I had money, I would buy a car. The third conditional is past to past. For example, if I had studied, I would have passed. Okay. Now a mixed uses either past to present or present to past. Now we have a mixed conditional that uses a past to present context. If I had studied, I would have a good job. Okay, so the instructions there, just to take a minute to analyze these sentences. It's not super easy to spot necessarily, but I'm going to read through them again. So the second conditional, if I had money, I would buy a car. This is present to present context. The third conditional, if I had studied, I would have passed. This is past to past context. However, a mixed is different. It uses either past to present or present to past context. If I had studied, I would have a good job. Okay, so there's a slight difference between regular fixed conditionals and mixed conditionals. Okay, so there are some common mistakes to be wary of. For example, a common mistake: if I would have studied. Incorrect. We don't want to mix if with would. If I had studied is correct. Okay, so a good tip here is not to use would in the if clause. Okay, guys, so that's a common mistake to be wary of. Well, we've got some final examples before our lesson conclusion today. So I'm going to read through these final examples. Number 1. If I had gone to bed earlier, I wouldn't be so tired now. This is past cause or context to present result or context. I didn't sleep earlier. This is in the past. So now I feel tired. This is the present. So that thought is expressed with this conditional. If I had gone to bed earlier, I wouldn't be so tired now. Now, the second example, if she were more confident, she would have spoken at the meeting. This is present cause or context with past result or context. So she isn't confident now. So she didn't speak earlier. This is in the past. However, we sum that up in our conditional. If she were more confident, she would have spoken at the meeting. Okay. Well, guys, thank you ever so much. Let's continue. We've got just a few more final examples. Number 3, if we had studied English last year, we would understand this better today. This is past cause and present result. We didn't study in the past, so now we have trouble understanding in the present. If we had studied English last year, we would understand this better today. And number 4, if I knew how to swim, I would have joined the beach trip last weekend. So we've got present cause or context with past result. So I still don't know how to swim. This is now in the present. So I missed the trip in the past. If I knew how to swim, I would have joined the beach trip last weekend. So we can see how these conditionals and use of conditionals can create a natural expression in English. So, in conclusion, mixed conditionals help us talk about how the past and the present can affect each other. They let us imagine different situations. What could be true now if something had been different before? Or what could have happened in the past if things were different now? So they may seem a bit tricky at first, but with practice and simple examples, they become easier to understand. Okay, guys. Well, there we are. We have come to the end of our conference lesson for today. So it just remains for me to thank you for your attendance and participation. There was a lot of participation today. So I'd like to say thanks once again on my behalf and, of course, on behalf of everyone there from Cercle de Langue. Okay, but that is it for today. Thank you ever so much. I will be back here on Friday. I hope that you'll be able to join me then. Thanks very much, guys. Bye-bye.